Absolutely fantastic. So, again, I'm from Steubenville, Ohio, 1994 graduate of Steubenville Catholic Central. I came to Cincinnati, 2007, kicking and screaming with my wife from here. So, I graduated from Ohio University, where I begged, borrowed, and stole my way around the football program, able to keep myself on there for a while. Where I met my wife, so good things happen, and as you guys know, as coaches are out there, anybody that's involved in schools, I guess, in education, you need a good spouse that kind of hold you up through it, and she does that in spades. So I'm really fortunate. The way that I'm going to approach this is by wearing the coach's hat. I think that I was the only one on this panel that is a coach, and forgive me if I miss somebody. But I think the practical application part of it, listen to some of the questions with Lou and some other speakers, maybe I can provide some insight there with that. I'm going to give you my philosophy or philosophical stance, and then we'll get to the more practical kind of the hows and whys. So 3 things, right? I'm going to talk about why sports leader, how it can help you, how it can work for you, and then what's next. So the okay, what now? I'm the dog that chases cars and caught one, and what are you going to do now? So that's where we'll go. So in 2011, I had the good fortune of being named head coach at Nicholas High School, which is about, well, in my younger years, about a driver away from here, right down over the hill. And like many new coaches, I was going to do great things. I had it all figured out, right? I had the who, what, why, when, where. I've been through this. I was going to take this school of historical mediocrity and make them successful, be the talk of Cincinnati. So after the dust settled and the 2011 season finished, I went 2-8. Right? And I specifically say I because 100% of the blame falls 100% on me. The system was broken, and it starts at the top, and I think we have to realize that. There are some really good things that we can do beyond sports, obviously. But if your leadership, right, if the people that are at the top are not behind you, it's going to be a struggle. And I'll get to that towards the end. So I knew we had to do something different. And in my mind, I wasn't sure what that was. I kind of had the thought, but I could not articulate it. And I also had the good fortune of having Coach Todd Nauman on my staff, who introduced me to Lou, and we went and ate some tacos with Lou one night, and he kind of laid it out to me, and I came home and like, well, this is it. This is what we are trying to look for, because it goes beyond, and preaching to the choir here. We know sports ends, and what happens when it ends, and what can we give our kids, right, to take with them? What do we want our kids to take away from the program, outside of the fun days on the field or fun days in the court? So I can honestly say, and this is not trying to, I'm not trying to be offensive to my coaches or anybody else, but sports leader is the single most important thing that I've ever done as a coach. Period. Better than any offense or defensive scheme, better than anyone that I hired. I have the best staff on the planet. I have the best staff on this planet. But this goes beyond it. And it is, like I said, I'll repeat it, this is the single most important thing that I have done as a coach, and I think that I will ever do as a coach. I'm not sure how you can top this for what it provides our kids. So with that, without sports leader, I think we would have continued down that path, and that path was being defined by wins and losses, right? Being a staff or coaches that have coach-player relationship that is transactional, not transformational, right? Things that we hear, the negative things that we hear about, that's the direction that we were going. And thankfully, the sports leader came into our lives, and the rest, they say, is history. And although we still have a lot of work, and we're going to continue to do that. So in 2011, as a staff, we came together. again, we wanted to say, what do we want our kids to leave this program? The worst player, if we have 60 guys on our team, the 60th guy to get in the game, right? If you went and asked him about his experience at McNicholas, what is he going to tell you? That's important for us because it goes well beyond all the game stuff, the practice stuff, right? Sure, that's important. It's fun. But for us, it is the experience. And again, we'll talk more about that as we get through here. But with the help of Lou, we stripped it down. Right? We got to the core. What do we believe in? Right? I looked around the room, and let's just say we had some seasoned coaches, right? And I was really skeptical. I said, no, this guy, no way. That guy, never going to do this. I didn't give him enough credit. We figured it out. They jumped on board. I didn't give them enough credit. And what we came away with, and as Lou alluded to in his talk last night, was our school motto is that youth shall attain full stature in Christ. We decided, and you guys may already know this as coaches, we steal a lot, right? Steal might be strong. We borrow a lot, right? So we said, we're not going to try to reinvent the wheel here. We're going to make what our school has been saying since 1951, since it opened the doors, and make it a part of what we do. All right? So as it turns out, attaining full stature in Christ and stripping it down to that core purpose, that core belief was so very, very important. And it gives us what we are all about, why we do it, what are we playing for, what are we coaching for, why do I go to this school, right? What am I out here for? We have become, or at least we are striving to be unified and driven by a unified purpose. And stature was that for us. It was very recognizable, all right, at the very least familiar with our kids. But as kind of a side note, it wasn't truly defined. I came to McNick in 2009 as an assistant coach. And I asked, so what does that mean? What does that, the youth shall attain full stature in Christ? If I asked 10 people, I would get 10 different answers. 10 relatively good answers, but never the same. So for us, our purpose, and with the help of Sports Leader, stripping us down to that core belief, is defining what that meant to us. What does it mean to be a McNicholas football player? Well, for us, stature means to be the very best man you can be and to be passionate about your faith and beliefs. Period. That's it. Best men, passion, faith. Doesn't go through that, right? If it doesn't align with that, we do not do it. Right? It's not in part of our vocabulary. So this program has helped us define who we are. And it helped us give our kids, this is who you are. This is your definition. This is why you're going to be, why you're here. Now, with that, there are interpretations to that, right? What being the best man for one kid might be different for another kid because of their background and what they've come through. But we give them clear guidelines. It's being the best man that you can be, being passionate about your faith and beliefs. Stature is our priority. In addition, stature is a living and breathing document for us. It's organic. It's not just a tagline. You see it on our helmets, as Lou said, but that isn't there because it looks good, right? It's not there because, oh, that really looks sharp on the back of your helmets, right? It's a reminder. This is why we're here, right? It's not because it matches our uniforms well or it gets a bunch of clicks on Twitter or whatever it might be, okay? In addition to those two goals, we also allow our kids, because we believe in taking ownership, we believe in allowing our kids try to lead, fail, try to lead again, fail some more, lead some more, fail some more, that sort of thing. So we allow them every year to get some of this ownership and come up with a third goal. So for us, it's always best men, passion, faith, and that third one is for what the seniors choose to be for that particular year. It allows them to literally be part of the legacy, right? we'll be able to come back and look in 2012, the first year that we did it, one family, one legacy. Right? 2013, play for the past, win for the future. So every year is going to be able to come back and look and say, I was a part of that. This is special to me. I guess the next part is, and I don't want to be too abrupt with it, but this program is laid out in a very, very structured way. And just like the blueprint for us that attains full stature in Christ is there, the blueprint is there for you. I encourage you to do it as it's laid out, especially your first year. We went right by the book. Page 1, this is what you do. Okay, we're done with page 1, we're going to move to page 2. Well, let's see what's down. Nope, we're not going with down there. We're going to do what's on page 2, and then we're going to go from there. I think getting your feet wet that way helps build a foundation for you, and to move to step 2 and 3, year 2, 3, 4 down the road as it's been discussed. You also have to understand this plan works within the team structure. It's not an add-on, right? This is not, oh, we do this too. It's not what you do, it is what you are, right? You have to, and I think you have to own that and kind of put your mind around that point that this is not something that is extra. This is a part of your program. So whether or not you continue to call it sports leader, which I'm sure the good people at Sports Leader would love for you to do that, but in a sense it becomes part of your culture, right? I think there was I think Lou talked about a freshman going through the ceremony as the football player, and then going to the basketball team and wondering, well, where's the confessional, right? When are we going to confess? Because it's part of what they do, and this is where we're trying to get to. This is just what we do. This is who we are. All right, it's not something extra that we are in. I know some coaches worry about schedule, worry about time. This can be part of your schedule. I love schedules. Right? I'm always fighting with my coaches. Stay on schedule. You're over. Too much time. Move to the next. Over and over. Right? Something you have to stay on schedule. And this is built in for you. It has a systematic structure. It lends itself to what you already do. Which kind of moves me to the next point. With administrators, I know there's several administrators out there. I'm not sure, I don't think my bosses are out there. But the way the world turns these days, I'm sure they'll catch wind. So I'll tread lightly. I like my job. You have to be all in. Listening to Lauren Martin and Kathy Ray yesterday, I was almost mad and jealous and envious. Do a fantastic job. To do what you guys did, that's you, Kathy, right there, right? To do what you guys did in such a short amount of time is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So really, go to YouTube. I don't know if it's out there on your website. Look at that video. Do what they did. Do what they did. That is your blueprint. Told that to Lou. I actually texted Lou during the speech yesterday. This is it. I don't know if there's someone better than that group. I would love to see it. It was fantastic to watch, fantastic to see. So we've been doing this since 2012 as a football program. My administration, they gave us our blessing, their blessing. They said, yes, it's great, but that was where the interaction sort of stopped. They know that we do that sports leader thing, right? You guys are doing that something virtue? Yeah, we're doing something virtue. We're doing it. But it sort of ended there, which is fine. We were able to still push it forward and do what we needed to do. When I was named DSM last year, I wanted to roll this whole thing out to all our programs, and it got met with some reservation, right? Well, we have volunteer coaches, we can't force them to do another thing. Well, I don't know who my coach is going to be for this, so we can't force them to do that. I can't wait to grab that video and send it over and let them know that yes, it can be done. But I think they've done it in a great way where it was optional. It felt optional, but to have all but 3, I think it was, programs jump on board, man, again, it's just fantastic. So my point is this: it has to be in line with everything that you do, right? So if your athletic director is kind of, oh, that's nice, go ahead and do it, but I'm not really going to give you the support, and let's face it, the teeth that you need, right? Then it's not going to work. If the principal is going to, well, yeah, that's great, let's check this off the box because it checks off this, it's not going to work. I would say don't do it. If you're on a staff and you have 10 coaches and 9 of them are yes and 1 of them are no, don't do it. It has to be all in, all the time, in alignment with your core beliefs. If you're not going to do that, then I would say don't do it. I would ask why. Ask what you're scared of. What are the fears, right? Money always comes up. I get that. Okay, it's all about money until it's about money, right? I understand that, but there are ways to empower people in order to get this thing running. The DSM, for example, right? Find that person. Find that person with that passion for sport or passion. It's not even for sport, really. It's for kids, right? It's what we're here for anyway. Well, this is going to help kids. Yeah, it's going to help kids, right? Find that person, okay? Maybe it's a coach. Maybe it's not a coach. I love the fact that Kathy spoke about its ministry and it's in line with what she does already. Makes sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. I'm going to go and give our campus minister a call, make sure that we're all on the same page. So it comes down to leadership, right? Leadership is so very important. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know. It's important, but it's fleeting, isn't it? So I've coached about 15 years, played 4 years in high school, 5 years in college. My dad was a coach for about 43 years, so I've been around it. In all those years, and even if you just took the years that I was a coach or a player, 20 plus years, how many kids were true leaders? Me, I think I probably came across maybe 5. Maybe, that might be a stretch. I'm talking top of the top. So this intrigues me, right? Reading books on leadership and trying to get information, trying to find the Above the Line, the Tim Kite, Urban Meyer book. Very good book, by the way, if you want to check that out. How are we going to bring the 10-80-10? You have 10 elite, 80 in the middle, and 10 below, way down there. How do you bring those 80 up to the 10? Well, if sports leader isn't one of those things, I don't know what is, right? Because it's possible. It's not that the 80% isn't possible to go up to that elite leadership status. It is. It's very possible. So how are we going to do it? Programs like this, cultures like this will do exactly that. So in that regard, I was doing some research and I came across this TED Talk on with Simon Sinek. You guys are familiar with Simon, leadership guy. It kind of spoke to me. Right? It was like, well, this is what we're talking about. He narrowed it down to this. He said, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And the why, right, the why you do something should be your core purpose, your belief system, your culture. The thing that Sports Leader and Lou helped us define at McNick, right, stature. Why are we doing it? Well, we're doing it because of stature. He gave a great example about Apple, right? Apple Computer and their approach. He said most companies lead with the easiest part first. So think of a bullseye with why being in the middle, the how being the next ring, and then the what being the outside ring. Right? We usually go from outside in, start with the easiest part first. So for Apple, if they were pitching somebody to buy a computer, it might start with, or sound like, We make great computers. Our computers are beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. You want to buy one? Maybe. Doesn't really move that meter though. Right? If you flip it around and started with the core, the why, start in the center and move yourself out. If Apple came up to you and said, everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. Our computers are beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We make great computers. You want to buy one? Maybe. I think you'll get more that way than you would the other. So start at the core and work yourself out. Everybody is looking for an edge. Okay? I understand that. This is a very competitive, dare I say, industry that we are in. Right? Every admissions office is looking to solidify enrollment. How can we get more kids? Again, it's not always about money, but sometimes it's about money. So my thought, well, why not have your athletics take a lead role in your promotion of your school? Oh, you can't do that. You can't lead with athletics. Can you lead with athletics? Right? You can't tell them that you're teaching because you want to be a coach. You'll never get hired. That was the dialogue and is the dialogue for many things. What is it, Kathy? What did that lady say at that when she stood up?
That's why we pay $10,000.
That's why we pay $10,000 to go here. They're leading with athletics. It's not the only thing that they do, but it's one of the main things that they do, and it's okay. It works. All right. So for me, it's being in total alignment. Right. You have a program like Sports Leader. It's intentional. It's purposeful. Right. It's explicit. Right. Those are all great things to have. You guys all heard the stats, right? Us coaches see more than 2 or 3 or 4 times the teachers see in one day. We have the influence on them, right? We have their attention and something that they want to do, right? To me, it just makes no sense. So, why do I coach, right? I have asked myself this. I coach to help boys attain full stature in Christ by becoming the best men possible who will lead with passion, faith, purpose, and empathy. That's it. It's not about money. Right? It's not about talking at conferences. Right? It's not about wins. It truly isn't. And we want to win like no other. Trust me. We coach our kids really, really hard. Really, really hard. Our expectations are really, really high. But you'll never hear us say, we want to win a state championship this year. Or we want to win this game. We hate that. There's a whole lot of, you walk into our locker room or our practices, and there's a whole lot of talking about love going on. It's true. We do it for the love of the guy next to us. Right? We respect our competitors. Right? But we're not competing against them. We're competing with them. Right? So when we're able to sit down and pray at the end of the game, a hard-fought game with them. Right? Sure, we're upset. They're kids. All right? But we understand big picture stuff. So I coach to help boys attain full stature in Christ, becoming the best men possible who will lead with passion, faith, purpose, and empathy. What if the next time a prospective family came up to me at open house, right, and I used that example of Apple, right? What if they came up to me and I said, hey, we are an outstanding football program where kids have an opportunity to play immediately. We do this by aligning our priorities and surrounding ourselves with transformational coaches. Put you on the list. You'll come to McNick. We'll give you a call. There's a lot of good programs. There's a lot of good coaches, right? So what's going to set us apart? What's going to be different, right? What's going to be unique? What's going to be superior to that? So if I had that same family come to me and say, hey, why should my son go to McNick? Why should my son play football for you? What if I said, everything that we do here at McNick is to help our kids attain full stature in Christ. We believe in being the very best men that we possibly can be. We believe in leading with passion, faith, with purpose, and with empathy. We do this by aligning our priorities and surrounding ourselves with transformational coaches. We are an outstanding football program where kids have an opportunity to play me. That's why you should come here. I don't know, maybe they'll say, hey, no way, man, I'm going to be the next Luke Kuechly and run out there for St. X. Maybe. All right, but I think you're going to grab some more kids that way. You're going to sell your program. And I say sell loosely because it's not a sales job. It's what you do. Right? It's what we are. I'm on the side of, our enrollment might be down a little bit, and a lot of people are worried. I'm the believer of coach the ones you got. Coach them up. All right? If that means 2 people show up, and we're going to coach those two kids really, really well. I attribute this to Sports Leader. I would not be here. In terms of coaching, where I'm at coach-wise, where our kids are, our priorities, our purpose. Would not be here for Sports Leader.